In this video, we'll be taking a look at Amalgame by In-Ear Display, a multi-effect plugin that aims to streamline the creation of complex signal processing chains. We'll be taking a look at a number of the 23 different effects that we can use in the plugin, and how we can activate the pad and XY sequencing on each of the effects for automated processing. We'll also take a look at the randomization system and dive through some of the presets that the plugin has to offer. So I've got an instance of Amalgame loaded onto my drum group here. We can select any one of the 23 effects and activate them by simply dragging and dropping into this middle section. We can turn them on and off. And we can edit the effect by using the circular dot in the XY pad. We also have a mix control bottom right. The effects are color coded from utility, filter and delay processing to modulation, distortion and special. Let's load a low pass filter into our first effect slot. Let's turn the mix dial all the way up. If we right click on any of the effects, it'll explain the controls that the XY axis are affecting, and also what the effect is for. It's useful for some of the more advanced processors. So for this low pass filter, the X axis controls the cutoff whilst the Y controls the resonance. Let's add some XY sequencing to this control to get some automated movement. I'll draw an upwards curve on the step sequencer, select the length to run all the way through. We can hear it filtering up now, sweeping up according to the rate set. We could increase this rate here. Now let's look at the Y sequencer, which will control the resonance, and let's do a similar, add some similar values. So now the cutoff and resonance are sweeping up according to the rate set on the sequencers. Now we've grasped the basic concepts of how the sequencers control each of the effects, let's load a more interesting and unique sounding effect into the next effect slot. The bot delay is a tempo sync delay with some pitch shifting. We load it into the second slot. The effects are chained together, so the output of the low pass filter will affect the input of the bot delay. Let's again add some XY movements here. We can turn these on. We can either draw in the movements, or we could use the randomize control to quickly dial in a step sequence. We could dial back the mix control here as well. You see, it's very quick to apply very interesting and unique movements to sounds. The effects themselves are very interesting sounding, but combined with the intuitive XY sequencing, make for some really interesting and unique processing. Let's now take a look at this vocal file. I've got an instance of Amalgame loaded on here with a number of different effects loaded in. Let's take a look at one of the special processors. The driller effect is a really interesting effect, looping small chunks of the input. Let's load it into this effect slot here and turn it on. One way to quickly dial in some interesting movement using one of the effects is to use the randomization controls. We can randomize the XY pad, the effects selected in the 6 slots, the sequence of movements, or the whole plugin. We can also take effects out of the randomizations, so I could turn off the randomization for all but the 2nd slot where I have the driller effects loaded, and click on the sequence to randomize the sequence movements. And randomize the XY control as well to place it in different parts of the pad. Let's try one of the distortion effects in the next slot now, maybe the lo-fi. Let's also turn on the reverb. Offer some all-out madness. Let's just try randomizing the whole plugin. We can also use our automation latch mode to record in any XY pad movements we want to apply. If we wanted to apply some filter sweeps on the bandpass filter, I put the track into automation latch mode. And all of those movements will have been recorded in as automation that we could then sequence or tweak and edit. Finally, I have an instance of Amalgame loaded on the master output here. Let's dive through some of the presets in the plugin. As you can hear, Amalgame is great at general mixing duties as well as all-out destruction of the audio source. The ability to stack up 6 different effects in a sequence means you can create very interesting and unique sounding effects, and combined with the XY sequencing allows you to add some very interesting movements to those effects. Be sure to check out Amalgame by In-Ear Display that is available now at adsrsounds.com.